Okay, let's talk about how we do things if you are doing Ramadan. So, obviously, 4 weeks, we want to maintain strength and performance as much as possible while reducing the body fat and um, making sure basically you're okay. So, we need to focus on hydration, is going to be like one of the big key things to focus on, meal timing and sleep. So, we want to keep losing the weight, particularly if you're on a weight loss plan. We want to stay injury free, which again is kind of associated with that low energy and the hydration and making sure you're recovering okay. So we're going to control the fat loss and we're going to try and maintain performance. We're not going to try and peak you for a big competition here. All right. We're just going to keep you nice and steady. So you got to figure out when you want to train is one of the main things here. So two times you could do it is after the evening meal. So I think sunset's about 6 p.m. So if you start training around 7:30, 8 o'clock, when you are hydrated, you have the carbs available. That's going to lower your injury risk, and you'll get the best performance about then. The alternative is before the evening meal, and then have a short session and kind of time it so it's at around that sunset, and you can break your fast immediately after training. So that way you can get your fluids and your carbohydrates in. I would avoid training as much as possible, like midday fasted. You're not gonna feel good. It's probably not going to be a good session. If you want to get up in the morning and do it immediately as well, then that's fine as well. It's just going to be an early session. And if you want to do that, that's entirely up to you. What we'll do for you then is reduce your total volume a bit. So just so you feel fresher. Your main strength lifts, so your squats, your bench, all that kind of stuff, that's gonna kind of remain the same, but we're gonna take out some of the conditioning, particularly the maximum efforts and the long like slog conditioning, and increase your rest and basically just not have as much of that. We want you to sweat slightly less so you can stay fresher, so you're less dehydrated and feel better, basically. Have less fatigue while maintaining strength. On your team training days, this is where it gets a bit tricky because if you've got training in the evening, then that's fine. Because if you just eat and then don't go to the gym or reduce your gym volume and then have your carbs in the evening, obviously, if it's dark already, then that's fine. And then just rehydrate post session, that's okay. But if you have it in the morning, or if it's like a morning weekend one or an afternoon or whatever, um, reduce the intensity where possible. Obviously, this is a tricky one, but if you can, particularly if you have it in the morning, if you have to eat enough and hydrate enough so that you have the stores for after. It's going to be tough over the next few weeks if you have a 10 a.m. session and you're doing 10 till 1. That's tough, but you just have to hydrate before you get there, eat before you get there as much as possible. If you're having like two of these intense contact team sessions per week, we'll reduce your volume further and we'll go down to the very bare minimum and we will just reduce everything. Because if you are dehydrated and fatigued and then you try and tackle someone or you're playing on the line and whatever and something goes wrong, it's going to be bad. So keep that small calorie deficit. Try to keep your steps in during the day as long as you feel okay. We're not aggressively dieting here. We're just gonna try and keep the muscle we have and recover as much as possible. Protein target stays the same. So again, this is going to be across your meals as much as possible. Try and get what you can in. If you can't get as much as you need to, that's fine. Do what you can. If you can prioritize your carbs around training, that will give you more fuel, which will mean you have a better session. So again, if you can um, plan it around that, plan it around, try and train in the evenings or very early morning when you can eat and you can refuel and you can rehydrate. Fats aren't really going to be your friend at this point because they are very high calorie and they don't give you a lot of volume for the amount of food that you get. And they're going to slow down your digestion. It's really easy to overeat on fats. So we try and avoid them. Try go for carbs and for protein as much as possible. Now, hydration is where this whole thing is going to be like make or break here. So we need to get you to kind of stay hydrated so you don't get this massive drop in body weight from day to day. And we do that by, well, a few different ways. Electrolytes. So if you are sweating heavily, particularly if you are training or if you have a game, then electrolytes are absolutely going to be your friend there to replace the fluids and replace um, sodium and the magnesium and the potassium that you need. We want to have these earlier in the evening more than anything. If you leave it until immediately before you go to sleep and then you chug 2 liters of water, then you're going to be peeing all night, and that's just not going to be fun. And your body won't absorb as much of it. So from the moment you can, I would sip water basically all the way until you go to bed. We keep the sleep the same as much as possible. Have a nap if you need it. Have a light meal like before you go to sleep, and keep that consistent. Some things stay the same, some things have to change. So this could be like an example of a day structure. So you go about your day as normal. You have your evening meal. You have your protein, your carbs, your fluids, lots of fluids in, a few moderate amount of fats, and then we do a reduced session for this, and then have another meal whenever you've finished, and then sleep, and then eat again. So that is a way of doing it. If you are dropping your strength consistently and it's not like going well for you, we look at your calories being too low, so getting more in and dropping the amount of stuff you're doing in the gym. Getting enough sleep will absolutely help you as well. We'll keep monitoring all the things that we monitor anyway, and make adjustments as needed. But don't aggressively cut your calories. We are on very much like a maintenance, performance, maintain. Don't cut out your carbs. Not that you do that anyway. I would skip the conditioning. Like it's fine. It's not going to be the end of the world to skip conditioning for 4 weeks. It's fine. And don't go max out while you're dehydrated. Okay. Really simple. I'll give you this doc, and if you have any questions, then let me know. Let's get to work.